Good morning, greetings, welcome to 5 Play Friday Live. What? You know it. We're super excited to be here. Always fun to jump in on a Friday, look at plays, get better as basketball officials, enjoy our fantastic community in the chat as we're all here to get better as basketball officials. How is everybody today? Whew. So, our beautiful Bay Area is besieged by rain this morning. Very unusual, um, but we need it. California is drought stricken and is in for a rough couple of drought years, I think. But we are here today in the morning. Let's take a look. Who is in the house? Uh-oh, the Zooch attended a basketball meeting last night, and the presenter used one of your 5 Play Friday sessions as a learning tool. Smart presenter. That is excellent. Samuel Shaw is in the house. Samuel, where are you officiating from? Let us know in the chat. Yeah, Jason, we are super excited. Glad to be here. Mike Goodwin joining us from Alaska. Dan Kelly, good to see you. Stan Bickler jumping on. Awesome. This is definitely, Mike, you have assessed correctly. This is fly by the seat of your pants. Activity here. Although Wednesday was absolute insanity in terms of preparing the slides, and I've made some changes. Ecamm Live, the software that we use to live stream, which is, there'll be a link in the show notes below if you are interested in trying out the Ecamm Live software. But it has made some recent changes which allow me to shift from, instead of having to use the laptop as a secondary device to play the videos, play the slides, etc. I can do it all on my M1 Mini, a fantastic live streaming computer that I have. So things are getting closer and closer to fully self-contained. So, but in making this transition, it brings up a number of issues, which I think I have solved, and I'm super excited to see how it all plays out. And in addition, hopefully the audio quality is improved, and this is going to allow us to bring in the audio from the plays, etc., making everything better. And then in addition, when we start having presenters like we did with Scott Bach-Hansen when he made his fantastic presentation on your new What Do We Do Now? How do we get better? We'll have that interface and the ability to produce quality content so we can all get better together. So Wednesday was crazy. Today, not so much. I might be a little better prepared. I made a few changes, ready to do all of the things. So Marcel and I here in the Bay Area, both Golden State Warrior fans, the undefeated Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry goes off early yesterday. Didn't do much for a long time, but then hit a couple of key baskets down the stretch. The Warriors remain undefeated. We love the Golden State Warriors here. And Andre Iguodala is back in the house and looking a bit spry, which is pretty amazing. We'll see how it lasts over the season. Yes, Mike, rain is good. It is good. It's just, it's going to take a little getting used to as we are out on the highways and byways today. You know what they say about it really is sort of the first rain, and how it affects drivers, etc. Corey in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. Samuel, the Missouri contingent is strong. We got Jason, we got the Zooch, we got Samuel. All right. Okay, those guys are connect. Phil Haddad, excellent. Good to see you. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Kyle Kyle Benter. Good morning from Southern Indiana. Good morning to you. Uh-oh. A little bit east of Missouri, Pompeii from Sweden. Excellent. Tremendous. Phil Haddad from Pennsylvania. Awesome. Awesome. Great to see everybody in the house today. I have a few plays put together, and we could take from them. We're going to take all of the things, analyze the game video, and get better as basketball officials. All right, fantastic. Let me know in the chat, how is the sound? How is the volume? Should be good. And yeah, so when I used my laptop, the laptop is an older laptop, would produce a hiss in the background. That was a thing. Now we're a little bit quieter, and plus I've invested some coffee funds in a couple of audio improvement devices, loop back, which allows some processing of the audio before it goes out in the live stream. So we should be getting better quality, and that's what we want to do, is produce the highest quality content we can. All right. Well, let's take a look at our rundown. Every Wednesday, basketball rules expert, we look at play scenarios, get a better understanding of the rules, and like we always like to do, focus on the ability to take those rules with us onto the basketball court. This time of year, we are all working with having to take a test for certification, right? And the ability to pass the test is obviously crucial, but what we like to say is the true test is out on the court, and our ability to properly adjudicate plays, and always with an eye towards key moments of the game when a team could not recover from a poorly adjudicated play. If we adjudicate something incorrectly, then the teams have no opportunity to come back from that, and we have affected the game with a misadjudication. So we want to take our rules knowledge with us onto the basketball court so we can get plays right there. Every Friday we have fun and we look at game video, and on 5 Play Friday Live, and we analyze all the things, right? We look at the position of the crew, properly adjudicate the play, did the correct official make the call, all of the things, demeanor, etc., handling, communication, positives and negatives, right? So when we look at game video, first of all, it can help give us reps. You know, if we are a newer basketball official, maybe I haven't seen a lot of goaltending and basket interference plays in my game, but on video I can see those plays, and so I can become accustomed to what they might look like, so that when they occur in my game, although I guarantee when they occur the first time in your game, you're like, you'll be taken aback. But when you start to see those plays in your game, there's a familiarity. We have some virtual reps, and getting reps as basketball officials in situations is a positive. So analyzing game video. And then we have on every other Monday a master class, or we may start having presentations by others, on a single topic that focuses and helps us get better with an understanding as basketball officials. If you are new to the live stream, put your voice in the game. Let me know where you officiate from. If you're new to me by any chance, my name is Greg Austin with A Better Official, and we craft video to help basketball officials get better and take control of their officiating career. I'd be pleased to meet you. Put your voice in the chat. And if you have any opinions about the play, any opinions about the live stream, jump in the chat. Put your voice in the game. so we can all get better together. Tremendous. Tremendous. I'm feeling good. All right, our Missouri crew is getting organized. Corey, thank you for the feedback. Whoo, Thomas passed his test. Tremendous. Tremendous. Yeah, yeah. Test questions can, they're designed to, potentially lead us astray. Give me just a second here, see if I can do that. But that's tremendous. And now, as you start to officiate games, you will have a test every night about rules knowledge and adjudication of plays. And then you're going to get into atypical plays. And then your rules knowledge will really be put to the test. But hopefully you have fundamental. Oh, no. Oh, no. Another Missourian, show me, is dominating the chat. Good to see you, Jay. But hopefully we've through our live streams, basketball rules expert, and 5-Play Friday, you have a little more tools in the tool belt about how to adjudicate plays when they occur on the court. So, right on. Jeremy jumping in from Tennessee. All right, middle school games last night. Yes, Jeremy, we have many, many parents who are viewers and become. Yes. Should sit over there because the view of the game is perfect from the stands. So handling those super knowledgeable, and that's one of the things that we like to point out as well is to new officials is one of the challenges you face. You're working lower level games, and the games can get much easier to officiate as the level of play goes up because there's so much more experience on the court, the coaches, etc. At lower levels, I like to say, if I'm working a freshman game with a new official or something like that, I say nobody here knows. They don't know. These players don't know about high school basketball, right? They're coming from AAU, middle school, etc. They have a lot to learn, and of course, the parents in the stands don't know. By the time they get their student athletes get to be seniors, they know a little bit more. Right, and parents can improve over that time. But yes, middle school parents are very, very knowledgeable. Raymond Berkeley jumping in from Austin, fantastic. Mark LaGrange down in Lafayette, Louisiana. Hey, Stephen, good to see you from Beaumont, Texas. Texas making a push. Where's our Florida contingent? Mike, put the word out. Excellent. Oh, you had a disconcertion. You got to tell us more. You got to tell us more about a free throw disconcertion play. But there you go. We want to take that rules knowledge. If I helped in any way help you adjudicate a play correctly on the court, that warms my heart. So we are good to go there. Yeah, well, you have to officiate. Yeah, so what I like to say is you have to officiate the game in front of you, and you have to find where that game is. At the middle school level, you can have a situation where these are extremely unskilled players. Where's the game? Where is the game? How are we going to officiate this game? You can say, well, I'm going to officiate this game like I officiate every single game in the same fashion. Right? I'm going to call it by the rules book, etc. Right? Very straightforward. Or you could say, where's our game? I always like to use the spectrum, right? We've got an elite varsity boys team. How are we going to officiate that game? We have a youth game. It's 4th grade girls. How are we going to officiate that game? Right? There is a spectrum, right? And you could say, well, I'm going to officiate them exactly the same. You can. We would counsel against that. So one of the challenges we face with lower level middle school game is unskilled players. How are we going to officiate this game? How are we going to do it as a crew, right? Because we have to do it consistently. And where do we find that magic so that this game can be officiated in a fashion that allows the players to compete safely and fairly, no advantage, disadvantage gained, etc., and all of the things. So I appreciate the challenge of the lower level game. Mike Connors is standing strong. Maybe the sole representative from Florida today, but strong, strong. All right, Ross Effling here from Brookings. Love the channel. I appreciate you, Ross. You're going to have to help others around the country learn about shot clock rules in the coming years, as it's coming. Like Scott Bach Hansen said, it's definitely coming to D.C. area. Maybe that means Virginia as well. Gotcha. Gotcha. Player in the lane jumped up and down, waving their arms, right? Because they don't know. They don't know, right? That's a big factor when with working lower level games, and they need to learn and what have you. All right, Albuquerque, New Mexico, second year. Great channel, lots of insight and information. Well, we appreciate you joining, Brashawn. I always have admired the New Mexico jackets, you know? Very stylish, at least the ones I've seen on video. Mike Connors, standing strong. All right, fantastic. Let's do it. Let's get started with this show. Okay. Analyzing game video, the number one way to improve rapidly as a basketball official. Let's look at some plays today. Let's look at plays. Stick around. Greetings. Welcome back to another episode of 5 Play Friday, the show where we look at video, analyze, do all the things, take the positives, identify the negatives so that we can all get better. Greetings again, everybody. My name is Greg Austin with abetterofficial.com. We craft video to help basketball officials get better and to take control of their officiating career. If this is the video content that you find valuable, it'd be a great time to do all the things. Hit like, subscribe, and the notify bell. We live stream every Wednesday and Friday. Join us for the live stream. Don't miss out on any of our new content, so we can all get better together. Fantastic. So let me take a moment to thank our fantastic show supporters: Sue Mahackian, Bart Henkle, Thomas Anticola, Mark Skolnick, and Bill Damico. Much appreciated and much love. You want to support the show? You know there'll be a link above and in the show notes below. All right, today we are looking at a hodgepodge of plays, looking to see all the things so that we can get better as basketball officials. Give me just a second. Okay, let's see if we can get this show started. So, a selection of plays today. Let's get started with our very first video. right? So when we analyze game video, a lot of times what we're identifying is mistakes made, plays misadjudicated. What we have to do, though, is celebrate not only in our own video our successes, the things we do well, the things that we can model and emulate, right? We've got great crew officiating on this play, and we're looking always at habits and fundamentals. So, calling official, right? At the spot of the foul, has a foul. We have a hard foul. Player goes to the floor. Their opponent comes in towards them, right? Do we want to leave that action? No. No. We want to be there and see what's going on. We've got a great display of sportsmanship by the defender. It helps the player up, and this is all good. But note that our calling official identified this as a two-shot foul, right? So what we need as a crew is communication. Our trail coming in as new lead appears to offer no help on this play, but right? So we can appeal to our partner, hey partner, that ball go in, right? Sometimes we can just get a sense in the building. Uh-oh. Sometimes we can get a sense in the building that maybe something is amiss, right? But we can appeal to our partner, hey partner, that ball go in? Or if our partner doesn't appeal to us, go to them. Hey partner, that ball went in, right? We don't want to say necessarily score the goal or what have you. They have to obviously need that information, but they need information in this instance. So our crew here does a great job, and it's not a frantic thing. It's super subtle, right? If we provide that information in a discreet fashion, then it makes the calling official look even better, right? We're working as a crew, we get the play right, etc. So on this play, we have positives that we want to take from them. Spot of the foul. Look at the demeanor of the calling official at the spot of the foul, right? Calm, relaxed, confident. All right, let's take a look here. Oh. This is a great habit, right? Goes to the table. Hey, partner, right? Get a perception. Oh, that ball went in? Great, great. Easy peasy, right? Hey, score the basket. Score the goal, rather. Sorry. All right, I want to fix this now, and I apologize. Oh, don't make me do it. Okay. Well, there you have it. So our first clip, see, that's the problem. So our first clip Simple, straightforward habits, what good looks like. I want to take that demeanor at the spot of the foul. I want to take that patience to stay at the spot of the foul. When we have a hard foul, player goes to the floor. What happens next? Who's coming in, etc. No rush to leave, right? Great calm demeanor. This is a collegiate game, so there's walk and talk going on. As a high school official, you may be encouraged to move quickly to the reporting area, right? Is that defined by rule? But we take information and we work together as a crew so that we have a clear communication with the table. We're going to score the goal, who the foul is on, what's going to happen next, and all positives. So we're taking that. We want to incorporate that in our own game so that we can all get better on the court. Did not help on this play. Right, but sometimes you can come in as the trail, coming to new lead, and hey, say, hey, partner, that ball went in, right? I may not have perceived that he had two up on the play, but we're going to work as a crew. Work as a crew. Yeah, because so Mike says this is a very good point. C&T need to stay engaged and help on the and one situation, because what do we want that lead official looking at, right? We want him looking at that hip contact. That is where the action is there. Oh, I was in great shape. Right, so if we boom, why do I get this here? Phil, that is the correct answer. Fourth grade CYO, very different from a middle school and above games. Yes. I haven't had to break out the technical difficulties in a while, but it's always fun. It's always fun. I want to be able to add more segues as in the coming. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. I know why that happened. Right. Because if I go to this scene here, now you can hear me. I think that's going to be how it goes. Okay. All right. We're learning. Right. So one of the things with the reconfigure, one of the things with the reconfigure is some settings have changed and what have you. So thanks for everybody's patience working through. It'll be a little awkward working through the clips, but we will move forward. We'll go here. So our first clip, we're absolutely taking all the positives from this. I don't see any, there's nothing about positioning, there's nothing about communication, there's nothing about demeanor that I would improve one iota. This is what good looks like. Take, take, take. Put it into your game. Develop those habits, and the game will appreciate you. All right. Let's look now at our next video clip. All right, so we have a player who sets up for a charge on a player who is catching the ball midair, right? These plays can catch us off guard. One of the things that when I see this clip and we see the activity of this player actually as extended out, this is a player who we need to be aware of on the court. If we have a charge taker in our game, we need to be aware of that. Right? That may be what they're all about, what their coach encourages them to do. They are attempting to take a charge on a play. It deserves a call, one way or the other. They may have, just because they're attempting, obviously doesn't mean they were successful. I'm going to do that. But, you know, we need to make judgments about plays. So let's take a look at this play and first of all determine the legality of the defender. And well, we can always start with the position of our crew, right? Let's go here. Ball's in the trails primary, top of the key. This would be the trails matchup. The center has some off-ball screening action, and the lead has basically nothing. So they are in a position to extend and find something to officiate. But in the end, we have a player in the lead's primary coverage area who attempts to take the charge on this play. This player catches the ball in the air. Our defender needs to be in that position prior to the player leaving the floor in this instance. Now, you could pick nits here and say, oh, NFHS makes no requirement in this area. And does the displacement occur after the player lands, in which that would not be a factor any longer? This is a really close play, right? And one that we want to anticipate because it'll come out of nowhere like that. So thanks to Jason Hayes for providing this clip. Jason's working at lead here. Right? It'd be very easy to extend our view as lead here across the lane to the post matchup and screening opposite when the ball is on the other side of the court. But in the end, we have a no call, right? Is this a play that absolutely has to have a call?
Bring it in after the timeout. Green wave in the press. Ball's tipped away. Bring it in after.
Right. My plays are supposed to loop as individual clips, and that setting is not turned on in my player, and I don't know how to do it. All right, let's see what we have on this play. Right. Yeah, Les thinks we have to have a whistle on this play. And I can appreciate that. You know, we can go with our guideline of, well, when we have two players on the floor, we absolutely have to have a whistle, you know, what have you. So we have a player who attempts to take the charge. They were unsuccessful in this instance. The player that they attempted to take the charge on does not seem to be affected by the contact. So we have no whistle on this play. Okay. Right? So something we also have to recognize is if we have this no call in our game, I think this is relatively early in the game. No, it's second half action. This is a play that we're going to need consistency on, right? If we have a no call in this situation, then we certainly don't want to have the same play occur at the other end of the court and have a call on that, right? And so that's where we have to be aware as a crew. This play has been judged to be incidental contact, right? Either it was unofficiated or that was the judgment on the play. Nobody came out of their primary and said, no, 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 we got to come get that. So we just have to be aware of that and put that away. And you could say, look, we're just going to own it. I made a mistake. That should have been a foul. We're not going to pass on something at the other end just because we passed on that one, right? That's where you make your big bucks. Jason says that play caught me by surprise. And so when we analyze our game video, right, let's go back to that. When we analyze our game video and we see ourselves potentially in this situation working as lead, we have to say, well, what was I looking at? What was I looking at? Was I officiating players in my primary coverage area, or was I extending to because there was no activity in my primary coverage area and this player sort of snuck in and caught me by surprise, right? So we'd also want to identify, had we identified this charge taker as a player that we always need to be aware of where they are, right? And so we could see why it would be logical that the lead would look to extend since there's no competitive matchups in their primary, right? And those are the things we're analyzing when we're analyzing our own game video, is what was my position and what was I looking at? Where was I looking at the right things at the right time to officiate the play correctly, right? In this instance, we were not looking at the right thing at the right time. The player snuck up on me, right? Didn't anticipate it. Could I have been wider? Could I have been more closed down? Could I have had been more open to the court? These are all the things so that we can get better as basketball officials. I'm going to put that on pause so it doesn't change videos. Yeah. So one of the cues that I would use is if this player is attempting to take a charge, right, then we need a whistle on the play. We could say, oh, either they were successful or unsuccessful, right? So it almost deserves a call. They're saying, look, I'm trying to pick up the fouls on these guys because I'm quicker, etc. And my activity deserves a decision from you, ref, not just a no call, right? And I think Mike really nails this is a tough call. It's tough. Because of two factors. One is the legality of the defender while the player is airborne, but also the fact that the airborne player lands prior to contact. That adds complexity to the play. Thomas, if you have player control on this play, then we certainly had a player in control of the ball. We have displacement, right? If we judge the legality of the defender, and like Mike says, it's tough because of a number of factors, then you just got to own that call. Yeah. So Les is saying, look, if you have a block, if you have a charge, let's go with that. But this play needs a whistle, right? And if we have that, if our crew has that mentality in this game, then what would we do if we were not the lead official? What do you do if you are the trail official, right? We had pre-gamed, right, that this kind of play, right, if we have block charge plays, they deserve a whistle. Let's put a whistle. Let's not, miss the play, right or wrong, right? We're going to own it. We're going to take it. We're going to report it, and we're going to go, right? So if we're taking that approach, can we come get this from the trail? I think so. And Thomas refers to that. The real thing is the awareness of the player, right? Once we have that and we can see that lead up, then we can anticipate the contact and be in a better position. If we are watching the ball handler when they go airborne, right, and then this defender comes in like this into our view, then we're just not in a great position. If we had picked up the play earlier, right, like if we think, if we had picked up this defender earlier, our first reaction might be to take a step back and get a bigger picture view. But if we're not perceiving this player until this point, then we're in a really tough spot to adjudicate the play properly. Well, Phil, if we are identifying a trail who's working too high, we are talking about the great majority of high school officials, right? When we analyze our game video, our position at trail is consistently too high. Part of that has to do, okay, I'm not a gazelle anymore, right? I used to be a gazelle. I'm no longer a gazelle. So I try to cheat a little bit so that I don't get beat to the other end line. If we can identify those things in our game, right, then we can improve upon them. Yep. The 3 B's. Excellent. Yeah. This is exactly right. We see that player, and then this player comes in like this. We don't have a good look on the play, but that's why we analyze our game video. That's the bottom line. That's why we analyze our game video. This play occurred in my game. I missed the call. I had no call when there should have been a call. Why? Was I not looking at the right things at the right time? No. Okay, what was I looking at? Okay, why was I looking there? How could I be aware there but officiate the players in my primary, right? Maybe, how did I end up in this position where I'm sort of at the ledge on the letter A here to observe this action, right? If we go back, let's go here. Right, so we have a close down move there, but we're not really anticipating a rotation, right? The ball's at the top of the lane. Maybe I need to be wider in this situation. I could still observe that action across the lane, right? So these are the things. That's why we analyze game videos, so we can all get better as basketball officials. So a great clip. Thank you, Jason, for submitting that. We've got another one from Jason. Let's look at play number 3.
After the timeout, Green bring it in. After the timeout, Green wave in the press. Ball's tipped away. Good effort there by Lerma. Hills has it. He pivots, and he's called for the offensive foul.
Chuck, one deal. When you pick up the basketball in that situation, get lower and wider with your elbows. That time his arms are kind of sucked into him, and they got close. Once his arms got away from him, it become a foul. He's got to pivot and rotate with that ball in his hands. Don't bring your elbows in.
It looks like.
And now they.
All right. So we got a number of things on this play. Player in control of the ball in the backcourt, double teamed, under pressure. Officials right there. We've got leading with an elbow by the player holding the basketball. A call is appears to be, our announcers say offensive foul, but in the end we have gone with an intentional foul in this instance for excessive contact. So let's look at all the things. Right, so we can go back. If we look,
Bring it in after the timeout. Bring it in after the timeout. Green wave in the press. Ball's tipped away.
That should be quiet.
Good effort there by Lerma.
So if we look at our original throw-in position by the trail official, right? So we've gotten ourselves into an awkward situation in that we are not behind the play. That's not a deal breaker.
Timeout.
But then the official recognizes, but he keeps an open look on the play. That's critical. He keeps a backcourt count. The ball gets loose, and he habitually continues his backcourt count, which is a great habit.
Good effort.
And ultimately, the center official says, hey, there's too much action here in the backcourt. I'm coming in, and I'm going to help officiate this play, right? And this, I think, is a great acceptance by the center official here because they are in much better position than the trail to officiate the play.
By Lerma, Hills has it. He pivots, and he's called for the offensive foul.
Chuck, one deal. When you pick up the back.
All right, so our calling official seems to be indicating that we're going to shoot free throws and then our resulting throw-in spot. So if we have an intentional foul, if that's our ruling on the play, give me just a second.
Basketball in that situation, get lower and wider with your elbows. That time his arms are kind of
intentional foul is our ruling on the play.
Once his arms got away from him, it become a foul.
Is it ever reported that way?
He's got a
pivot there. Foul.
Chuck, one deal. When you pick up the basketball in that situation, get lower and wider with your elbows. That time his arms are kind of sucked into him.
Okay.
And
so intentional foul is the ruling on the play. Perfect.
He's got to pivot and rotate with that ball in his hands. Don't bring your elbows in.
It looks like.
And now they.
Right, so we have a loose ball situation. Chaos. Right? Our trail official continues their count, right? We get a habitual movement by the center for a closely guarded situation. Sometimes when we're, in a stressful situation like this, we do things that are odd. We identify those things in video. But ultimately, we have an intentional foul. Immediately, let's compare the demeanor of the calling official here versus on our first clip, where the demeanor was very calm, very communicative, etc., right? We're in a little hurry here, right? We're in a hurry to get to the table. There's no reason to be in a hurry. No reason to be in a hurry. Goes to one of his partners and says what his ruling is on the play. This is really good. What does it do? It slows us down, gets us to clarify, right? When we analyze our game video, we're looking for being very aware and clear in this situation. We want a calm demeanor, right? I have an intentional foul by rule for the swinging of the elbow. The offended player is going to shoot 2 free throws, and then it is going to go to the offended team at the spot nearest the foul. And all of that is ultimately communicated in this situation. If we do have announcers, let's just keep aware, if we do have announcers on the game, we have access to them, we may want to make sure they know that this was not a technical foul, which they seem to suggest. Right? So, the elbow. Let's talk about the elbow. Does that rise to the level of an intentional foul? I think it definitely does. If we look, the actual, it's funny, he kind of caresses the ball with his left arm and leads with the right arm before the ball comes with it. Like he definitely measured up a little bit, which brings us into the realm of intentional or flagrant. Right? So, a great clip that shows calling official excited about a call, does properly communicate the information to a partner, but a little animated, a little the energy, we could improve that, I think, on this play. So I'm going to go here. And I'm going to go here. Okay. Let's go. Let's go there. Okay, that refers to the old play. So how we officiate this defensive action, this player is in a weak position, right? They are double teamed, they are trapped, they're sideline, right? They're basically essentially triple teamed, 2 defenders and the sideline. We're going to call the obvious foul in this instance, which ultimately we do. Is this player fouled by defenders? That's going to be a judgment call. I can say with pretty much certainty, I do not have a whistle for a defensive foul in this situation. Okay. Ross says, agree with Mike Connors. Get the first one and you won't get the retaliatory foul. Let's take a look. Where is our obvious foul by the defender? Let's go back to there. No. Ay, ay, ay. I've got to get that fixed. All right. So where is our obvious foul by the defense? Okay. All right. If you want to put a whistle on that, more power to you. Certainly, you could say that it was illegal use of hands by the defender from behind. But I can go with that. Thomas says, calling official mechanics not very good. Did not stop the clock with a fist and initially did not use the player control foul indication. Well, the ruling on the play is not player control. The ruling on the play is an intentional foul, and they did not have an intentional foul at the spot. That is acceptable, right? If if we're going to upgrade the play as a crew, if that is your ruling on the play, you should have that at the spot. Boom. Intentional foul at the spot when it occurs. But what are the attributes of the calling official that you identified, Thomas, as a young official? And how could you take this clip and improve your game? The official is very excited, right? They are anxious to get to the table. What if we said, okay, instead of excited, I'm staying right here, and being super communicative. We have an intentional foul on this player. Hey, partner, intentional, right? We may want to communicate with the lead who's going to administer, or the new lead. We're going to shoot 2, and then we're going to take the ball out here near at the spot nearest the foul, right? Do all that stuff at the spot, then go to the table. Intentional foul. This player. 2 free throws, right? And then we have strength and credibility. Anytime we get animated and anxious on the court with our officiating, right? We can identify that in our game video. Hey, okay, I see it. I see how I was all excited. I was amped up. If you are a young official at the spot of the foul, you will see this all the time, like blazing away. It's a natural progression for officials to work through, their spot of the foul comfort, right? If we look back at that first clip, was that official comfortable at the spot of the foul? He was luxuriating in the moment, right? Very comfortable. Yeah, we don't really see the position of the center. Our crew definitely seems to be shifted at the start. Alfred Kennedy in the house. Excellent. Good to see you. There is no signal for flagrant. You could, at the spot, go intentional and gone or something like that. Yeah, you may want to do that at the table. Hey, partner, we may want to go with another official and say, hey, here's what I have on the play. I have flagrant. I have him leading with the elbow. That player is going to be disqualified with a flagrant foul, right? And they may come back and say, from what I saw, you're absolutely correct, etc. Or we can make that judgment on our own. He did there seemed to be some of that definitely going on, but if we see there's a slight disconnect between the ball and the elbow, right? This is not a situation where a player is taking this action. This is a situation where the player has their ball on their hip. Let's see. They are protecting the ball, right? So let's go here. You see how the ball lags the elbow, right? Great clip. Great clip for that fact alone. So Mike says, ask yourself, what is the ball handler going to do here? They are in a really tough predicament. Now, let's also just identify, what are we thinking as the other officials in this situation? Like, let's say you're the lead at the other end of the court, and this situation is occurring. We have a player in distress. What do we want to be aware of? We want to be aware of a possible timeout request. We do not want to miss one. If the coach in this instance is requesting a timeout, even from far away as new lead, we do not want to miss that. If it especially if it leads to this some circumstance like this. So let's see. we're looking at the visitor bench. So we want to make sure that we have that awareness, when a player is in distress like this. But like Mike says, ask yourself, what is he going to do? He's going to try to create space. What do we really appreciate? Players who can create space legally, right? Like with the use of their body, create some space and have awareness. Not all players can do that. We certainly appreciate when they can. Yeah. I'm going to go back here. Sylvia's got a foul on the hug. I guess that would be... We got a lot going on. Nothing there. Nothing there. Then our player gets up, extends both arms. I don't know. Great clip. Thank you, Jason, for providing that clip. Much appreciated. Thomas says, slow down, fist up, better to stop, wait for players to clear, communicate with partners. That's a great formula. Take that with you onto the court. Yeah. Elbow moving faster than the torso. So let's say in this situation, instead of the elbow, we had a situation where the player was holding the ball and made a natural turn with their body and still had the head contact causing the defender to fall. In this instance, all things are on the table. No call, not really on the table, but no call is a possibility. Player control foul is a possibility. Intentional foul is a possibility, and flagrant foul is a possibility. The whole menu is available to us. No call, not really an option. If there was contact. So then we need to say, okay, wait a minute. Was this a natural move by a player pivoting? If so, right? And did they, sometimes they'll catch them with the fleshier part of the arm with the head contact, as opposed to a faster moving elbow head contact. So we certainly could have had, in this situation, a player control foul. I don't think so. Maybe. I mean, the video quality is not where we can see the flesh move on the face. It wouldn't take much contact. See, if you have a grazing elbow in this situation, it's going to look exactly like this. Now, we got to anticipate that this official was right there. There may have been audible clues to the contact as well. I'm going with the official here. Sylvia, I agree. It is a great clip. And I thank you, Jason Hayes, for providing it. Okay, I want to go here. Then I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. Okay, so takeaways on the play, right? Positioning of the crew, demeanor of the calling official, the things that we can take. I could do that. Yeah, maybe I do. Do I see those attributes when I look at my own game video, etc.? And then the merits of the play itself. Does it warrant a intentional? Does it warrant a flagrant? All of the things. That's why we look at plays. That's why we can look at plays and get better as officials. Now, think about this situation. Is this something that's going to happen all the time? No. That trap in the back court near the division line as the center official, how do I come get that, etc.? Do I take ownership of that? Does that belong to the trail? All of these things. If we can see the play, right, we see it, then we can start answering those questions about how we would handle it. It could potentially lead to a discussion in pregame, right? So if we know that one of our teams is a pressing team, then we're going to have potentially plays like this, and we could discuss how we're going to officiate the plays, right? So that's why we love to look at game video, analyze plays, and get better as basketball officials. All right, let's look now at our very next play. All right, little lower temperature situation. This is a looks funny play, right? So we have National Federation of High School this year coming out and saying traveling is a point of emphasis, spin moves, travels being improperly judged. Do we need more travels? No. Do we need less travels? No. Do we need more accurate rulings on plays? So we have a play like this, and it's easy to say, okay, I put whistle on plays like this because I get absolutely no pushback. Everybody knows this is a violation, right? Or is it? Right? It obviously looks funny, and the offending or the ball handler acts extremely guilty. But is there illegality on the play? Let's take a look. No. Go here. Right? So the player picks up their dribble and loses the basketball. They put two hands on the basketball and they move, their pivot foot obviously, put two hands on the basketball and pass it to a teammate. Is this a legal or illegal action by rule? Terminates the dribble, loses control of the ball, touches it on the way down, puts two hands on the ball and passes to a teammate. Is that illegal by rule? I know it looks funny, and I know the player acted guilty, but is this a violation by rule? Right, so collegiate official doesn't put a hand up for the violation. Obviously, we want to do that. And using proper signals is also a point of emphasis. Let's go here. In high school this year. But this is a legal play by rule. This is a play that looks funny. This is a play where the player acts guilty, although they do it after the fact. And it's also a play that everybody knows. Everybody knows that's a violation. And so we can put whistles on plays like that, and the game will move forward, and there's no pushback in any quarter. So that opportunity is there. But when we analyze plays for actual legality, because we're going to see, as we like to say, we're going to see all sorts of unusual things occur on the court. And if we gear ourselves towards looks funny, whistle, then we are setting ourselves up to be an official who the NFHS says, hey, we need to create a point of emphasis because we have too many officials who are addressing things based on looks funny or traveling based on a number of steps as opposed to a pivot foot being lifted and returned to the floor. They're working off of some formula for adjudicating plays that leads to inaccurate rulings. So this is a legal play. There's nothing illegal that occurs on the play. It's a funny looking play, and that's what we have here. She did lose control, Sylvia. Good to see you, by the way. Thomas, correct. She did lose control, right? So we lose control. So what is that player allowed to do, right? In this instance, she basically goes and collects the ball in place. What if the ball went further? Can she go further to do the same actions? Yes. Yes. player who loses control of the ball is entitled to go any distance, any place, and recover the basketball. What that player who had dribbled the ball to this position is not allowed to do then is to dribble again. And she did not do that. Yeah, Steve, absolutely correct. The struggle is real for collegiate officials. Let me just put it that way. You work collegiate, you work high school, you work collegiate, high school. You have to find a solution. You obviously want to do things the right way, but sometimes we get into a situation where we are habitual. Mike Connors says it is a travel. Because she hops after picking up the ball. All right, Mike. Now, we are officiating in real time here, and that's not the ruling on the play. Let's take a look. I'd say she's not holding the ball until her foot is on the floor. Mike, that's really a reach, I think, in this instance. I mean, in terms of human perception in real time, that's tough. But, right? So here's the other thing. So, Mike, you put that call in the game as the trail official here, right? Your crew has got to be on the same page, right? We are calling traveling really tightly tonight, right? And if that's so, the players will adapt, the game will move forward, etc. But we don't want to be on an island here saying, see that little hop? That's illegal by rule. I'm putting a whistle on it. And your partners are like, there is no way in the world I'm putting a whistle on that play, right? Then we've got inconsistency as a crew, and we don't want that. So Danny says can't penalize awkward. Okay, Les O'Connor's got illegal dribble. Yeah, might be. Zooch. Okay, so Les, what you are saying here is in real time, it looks like she ended her dribble by holding the ball with both hands and then started a new dribble when the ball was released and hit the floor. So you're saying this player is in control of the ball. It makes a voluntary action. Let's see. Right, she is definitely holding the ball at this point. She has terminated her dribble. Let's see. Oh, now that was an involuntary action, right? She had it and it came loose. She touches it with two hands on the way down. Does she catch the ball? Does she dribble the ball? And then she bats the ball to a teammate. Is that a dribble? So after she held the ball came loose. She touched the ball and then batted the ball, right? Are either that touching or the batting a dribble by rule? I would say no. That's my opinion on the play. I hear you, Mike. Yeah, Sylvia's got the definition of a dribble was covered. A dribble is a push or bat to the floor by a player in control of the ball, right? If we remember that, then that can help us out in situations where something looks funny. Thanks for that, Sylvia. All right. I'm going to poise us for success and move on Okay, great clip. Let's let's take a look at play number 5. All right. It's that play, you know, that one that's discussed in the case book. We have a player, late game scenario, team that's trailing, scores a goal, ball falls through to the floor. The team cannot stop the clock. They must be out of timeouts in this situation. They cannot stop the clock. The ball becomes live at some point because the official makes a ruling that the ball is at the disposal of the throwing team and begins a throw-in count, right? This is a great play to see on video because, how many reps are we going to get in this situation? Not a lot. Not a lot. So the key question here is, when does the official begin their count? And why would the official then begin their count in this situation? Let's just review. So the ball enters the basket in this situation. The ball is dead. At that point, either team could call a timeout. This team appears to be out of timeouts. The ball passes through the basket. When should the official begin their count by rule? Right? When the ball is at the disposal. So when the count gets to be 5 or 5.5, the official begins a count here. Player, it's like, what can I do? Reaches out, attempts to intentionally foul an opponent to stop the clock. It's a great clip. Great clip. Thanks, Shane. And then the horn sounds, and the crew exits the building. So when we look at this play, we want to look at all the things, as we like to say. Ball goes in the basket. Lead official looks towards the head coach, almost a habitual reflex, but we should know we're out of timeouts if that's the case. Begins a count. Home team, or this must be a collegiate game, doesn't look like white uniforms. But the gold team in this instance says, we don't need to throw the ball in. We're good to go, right? And the game expires. So a lot of things here we can pick apart and see were we accurate in our ruling, etc., and the demeanor of the officials on the court and all of the things. So let's do that. Ay, ay, ay. So the official begins their count at 5.4. Human beings making a count. We do not have to have pinpoint accuracy. What we would want to have in this instance is a very meticulous and metronomic count. We don't want to be haphazard and, lazy. We want to make it look, right, really accurate. Yeah, it's tough, Mike. It's tough to see the timing. It looks like 5.5 when they begin their count. We got so many things here. All right, so let's address, and I am open to discussion on this. When the player, when the frustrated player, or not frustrated, they just realize they have no options, tries to subsequently foul a teammate, are we to ignore that by rule, or are we to call that by rule? Or are we to make a judgment about whether it rises to the level, like that push right there by the player who's, players in this situation are going to be like a drowning person and a life raft. They are going to be clinging and grabbing for solutions, right, in that moment. The world's coming in quick. Randy Wilson says, in a high school game, the 7.9 or 7.4, whatever it is, means nothing. If he started his count on 5.5, he should have had a whistle, but his count is his count. Don't speed up and don't slow down. And that's absolutely right. So even in a situation where the ball is inbounded with like we know what the timing is, and an official has a count for a backcourt count or a closely guarded count, the accuracy is never a variable. It's the official's count that is the thing. So in this instance, so we're analyzing our game video, right? I say we want this count to be very meticulous, right? Sometimes we have loose counts. Sometimes we have very meticulous. If we have a throw-in play, let's say, a designated spot throw-in play with, 2.2 seconds remaining in a tie game, right? We want our count in a game-deciding situation to be extremely accurate, right? In a situation where there's no defense and what have you, maybe our count is a little less. But in this instance, right, it's really important the way the official counts. We want that to be really accurate. One thing I will say is I don't like, and it's come up before in other game situations, I don't like the crew leaving here like this. Where's your partner? Where's the trail? Right? The game is over. Let's all leave the game together. Right? I don't like that about this play. But that's an accurate ruling, in my opinion, on this play. Let's go there. It's killing me. So, Jason asks, what if the head coach intentionally calls a timeout when he knows he's out? And also, let's add, we know he's out. What is the correct procedure in that situation? Or a player calls a timeout. What is the correct adjudication of that play? Now, you don't have any timeouts, son. You don't have any time. By rule, by case play, in this instance, if the head coach or a player requests a timeout, grant the timeout, assuming that the ball was dead in that interval, when the ball was dead before the official began a count, erroneously, or a team without timeouts requests it, grant it by rule. Grant it by rule. That's the case play. That's the ruling. That's correct. Now, once the count has begun, that team no longer has that opportunity. But in that instance, we would grant the timeout, assess a team technical, 2 free throws, ball at the division line for a throw-in, opposite the table. That would be the correct ruling. I know in this instance, if a player runs out of bounds, so our defender here is frantic, and they run out of bounds in an attempt to get the official to rule a violation and stop the clock, that we are to ignore that. So my question is, Are we to ignore the player pushing the other player in the chest? That's really intriguing. I think our options are incidental contact because of its bearing on the play, but I don't know what our guidance is there, to be honest with you. Mike Connor says yes, at the cost of a technical foul. Huh, that's a good point. Maybe it's a tournament game, right? Good point, Zooch. So it's not a collegiate game. It is a high school game because the clock continues to run. I like it. If a foul is called prior to the lead official starting his count, is it a dead ball technical? That's a great question, and the answer is yes. Yes. In this situation, the ball goes in the basket, the ball is dead. The team is entitled to collect the ball and have a throw-in, a non-designated spot throw-in. That throw-in begins when the ball is at the disposal of the player and the official begins their count. So in a dead ball situation, if a foul was ruled, it would be a technical foul by rule. Great. All right. That play didn't jump off the successfully as video. The fact that the clock is blurred, I think, is a big factor in that. But let's now look. No. Let's look at a bonus play. Oh, so awesome. So awesome. Now, is this a play we want to see on video? Yes. Do we want to see this in our game? Not so much. There's challenges ahead in this situation. So what do we have here? We have a player that leaves the trail's primary. Let's go all the way back here. Video credit on this for Jim Confer, Facebook. All right, we have a triple whistle on the play. Trail has a foul, lead has a foul, center has a foul. Lead indicates blocking foul on the pass. Center indicates player control foul or team control foul. Charge by the offensive player. What are we going to do? How are we going to adjudicate this play? What are all the things? Okay, this ball is leaving the trail's primary coverage area. Trail is responsible for the primary defender on this play. Contact with a secondary defender in the middle of the lane. That would be the lead's responsibility on this play. But we have an explosion in the middle of the lane. In the middle of the lane is where we expect, that's where we're going to possibly have triple whistles. And we have one in this instance. Center official, right, rules a charge on the play. Does not raise a fist. None of the, only the trail official seems to recognize that there are multiple whistles on the play. And right at this instance, put yourself in the mind of the trail official. We're going to have some work to do on this play. I know one official called the charge, one official called the block, and we have this coach right behind me who's yelling at me, and we're going to have to resolve this situation. Right? We can look at the merits of the play. Was this a block? Was this a charge? That's not really the value add in this situation. The value add is how would we adjudicate this play? What happens next by rule? How are we going to sort things out as a crew, etc. Right? That's what we're going to have to do. Put yourself in the position of the trail. Let's say you're the crew chief. You've got two other officials on the crew have made this ruling. How are we going to proceed? We don't have a lot of options. At the high school level, we don't have the option of two officials conferring and saying, let's give up the call to this other official. In this instance, we have a block, we have a charge. We need to deal with that as it is. So in this situation, by rule, the proper adjudication would be this is a double foul. What does that mean? Double. What does that mean? When I say double foul, what comes to mind? What can we take with us onto the basketball court? Point of interruption, right? That's key. That's key. Double foul. We're going to report fouls on both of the players, and we're going to resume at the point of interruption. What is the point of interruption on this play? Remember that our lead official has indicated a foul on a pass. So what is our point of interruption? That's what we need to know on this play. Now, this is going to be messy. This is good, any way you slice it, this is going to be messy. We're going to have to own that, right? This is one of those situations. It's like the greatest offense a crew can have is the blarge. You have to avoid it. It happens. It happens for whatever reason, lack of discipline and what have you. How are we going to get past this situation, move forward, adjudicate the play properly, and go, right? That's what we need to do. So in this situation, if we're going to the point of interruption, if there was no shot attempt on the play, then we would reward the ball to the white team for a throw-in nearest the spot where the ball was when the double foul occurred. That would be the correct adjudication on the play, right? If it was a try for goal, then we have potentially something else. Now we no longer have team control. If it was a try for goal that missed, then we have something different. There's no team control by rule. We would go to the possession arrow nearest the spot where the ball was at the time of the foul. Oy, oy, oy. Don't do that. And that would be something different. What if the ball went in? Then what would we have? Well, you can't, a try for goal can't possibly count if we have a player control foul. But remember, we do not have a player control foul. That's a key takeaway here as well. This is a double foul. So does the ball become dead on a double foul? Or when does the ball become dead on a double foul? If there was a try involved, right? We need to know that. And that's why it's great to see these plays on video, because you're in the moment. All of these things are going to have to become part of the evaluation. So I love this clip, and it's a great learning clip. Let's see what everybody has on this play. Let's go there. Titus, I'm going to come back to that. Okay, so Mike, commenting, secondary defender, that should be the lead's primary coverage area. We'd want to have discipline on this play. If we're going to put a whistle, though, as an outside official, like the center official, what do we want? What do we want? I've got a whistle. You know, I shouldn't have had a whistle, but I've got one. But what we don't want is showing from the outside in this situation. We don't want to show early. What's the rush, right? So, again, we go back and we look at our game video. This is a habitual action. When I see a charge, I just go to the punch. Now, of course, new mechanic this year, we're not punching. But that was changed before for player control. It's a hand behind the head. But the first thing is a fist up. That gives us, everybody, an opportunity to recognize that we have multiple whistles on a play and we can avoid this situation. Okay, Y4 Steve says, get together and talk it over. Is that an option? That's an option at the NCAA women's level. Is that an option at the NBA level? Nope. Is that an option at the high school level? Nope. We have fouls ruled by multiple officials. That's the situation. Blargy Town. Yeah, what's my Blargy Town is the name of this clip. Okay, Les says, we report both fouls. No choice here. Both were signaled. Resume play at the point of interruption. Would be the white team throw-in on the end line. Les O'Connor nails it, right? And if we don't know that adjudication going into this situation, think if our crew doesn't know what to do next year, we're going to come up with it's going to be a real mental exercise, shall we say. And if you think about the other things that could occur, a try that fails to go in, try that does go in, and adjudicating that play properly, challenging. We see it here. Okay, I have a head start. Now I know. Oh boy, it doesn't make sense. An offensive player releases a try. We have a large situation, and the ball goes in, and you're saying we're going to score the goal? Yeah, we are. It's like that could be really non-intuitive, right? So if we understand that in the video context, if it occurs in our game, we can have not only the correct adjudication of the play, but the confidence, right? So we have this play, right? It occurs in the game. We have to fix it. We've got upset. Nobody's going to be happy in this situation, right? We're a little bit embarrassed, but we have to move forward and officiate the rest of the game. So at least knowing that we adjudicated the play properly and not being, wait, should we have, I'm not sure, we don't want to be in that predicament because then we're going to be a crappy official going forward. Too late to talk it over. Do, do, do. That could be a song lyric. Mike Connor says the last place you want to be in this video is the trail, right? But sometimes you just got to recognize this is what we've got. We're going to, we understand all of the things. We understand we end up with a little egg on our face, right? This is, an embarrassment. Is it the greatest crime in the world as an officiating crew? I don't think so. It happens at all levels. It happens at all levels. Why would it happen? Right. So again, we want to say, well, wait a minute. Our system of officiating mechanics is specifically designed to prevent things like this. So how does it happen? Right. If I'm the center official, I know how it happened. If I'm the lead official, I know that I was not aware of the other whistles. I can also know that as lead official, leads show early, right? Outside officials should not show early. We need to understand our system of mechanics, all of the things, and we can definitely take that information from a play like this and get better as basketball officials without having to go through it ourselves. But understand, we're going to have egg on our face. It's an embarrassment, potentially. We have to just accept that and move on. We want to adjudicate the play properly and then get the game going. Mike probably had that before me. If the ball attempted to try and it went in, do we count the goal? And if it did not go in, what would happen next? Al Kennedy with the habit for outside officials. Post and hold. They are not infallible, Mike, even in a system, but if we focus on what the system encourages us to do, then we are, because the system is designed understanding that there's human beings involved. So what are the habits that we want to have from each position on the court here, right? I would say as trailed, I had a whistle on this play. Why did I have a whistle on this play? That was not my primary defender, right? It was a reaction whistle, right? But if we look at the play that occurs, right? Let's also think this through. If we look at the play that occurs, ask yourself, you're on this crew. Are we going to have a whistle on a play like this? Yes. Yes, we are going to have a whistle on a play like this. So do I need to be in a hurry if this is outside of my primary? If I'm the trail official here and this play occurs, well, we're going to put, I know immediately we're going to put a whistle on this play. You don't have a whistle? You don't have a whistle? Oh, I got a whistle, right? We are empowered. We know that we're not going to pass on this obvious situation. Right? So that gives me the comfort of saying, I don't have to come early and get this. I will come 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds later if my partners don't have a whistle on a play like this. We are going to put a whistle on a play like this. So do I need to be in a hurry? Do I need to have a reaction? If I understand the system of officiating, lead has that play. Boom, right up in front of the lead. No whistle. That's a foul. No? Boom. Then I can come, right? That's the habits that I want to have as an official on a play like this. And if I don't display those habits on a play like this, then that's room for me to improve, right? And I can say, okay, I recognize it. That's something I need to improve. I'm going to work on that starting in my very next game, right? As trail. Having that composure, having that awareness, that's your call. That's no, boom, right? We're good to go. I like it. I like it. Oh, absolutely, Mike. Absolutely. And there are, again, at all levels, human beings involved, discipline, right? So like sometimes we look at our game video. Let me just put this on pause. I'm going to go there and there. Sometimes we look at our game video and say, I know all these things. I know all of these things. Why did I, in this situation, take this action? It doesn't make sense. I know, like, why did I disengage in a rebounding situation when I should have stepped down, right? We can be distracted. We can be focused on a previous play, and we can identify those situations as well, where there were things that occurred previously, or I was talking to a coach over my shoulder when it occurred, or all of these things. When we analyze our game video, we can start to pick these things out or remember, we had a play like 30 seconds previously. I was still thinking about it. I know I was, right? And then I had these things happen as a human being on the play, right? So what I need to do is I need to learn to let go of that play, not engage in that conversation because this play needs my full attention and energy. And I do myself no favor by holding on to the past or engaging in that conversation over the shoulder. And when I do, am I as good an official? No. No, I'm not, right? So that's the value. That's what we're pulling out. Love it. Love it. All right. Now, what happens next here? Let me do this. Live stream viewers, I'm going to wrap up the show, put a bow on it, and then we'll come back and look at another bonus play. Let me do that. Thanks so much for joining us today on 5 Play Friday. Hope you found value. If this is the content that you find valuable as a basketball official, make sure to do all the things. Hit like, subscribe, and notify us so you don't miss out on any of our new content. You'll be the first to know. Allow me a moment to thank our fantastic channel supporters: Sue Mahackian, Bart Henkle, Thomas Anticola, Mark Skolnick, and Bill Damico. Much appreciated and much love. You want to support the show, you can always buy us a coffee. You know I'll put a link above, and I'll tell you what, I'll put a link in the show notes below. Fantastic. Have additional video content available for you here. Make your choice. Choose wisely. We'll see you in the very next video. Take care, everybody. All right, we're back. All right. Love it. That went pretty well. Boy, that at the end, it like lasts a little too long. Take care, everybody. That's like 1, 2, 3. I'm going to be changing that so that I have more control over it. That's that's fun. Okay, let's take a look. What do I have remaining on the video menu? Oh, this is a great play. Give me just a second. Oh boy. Let's go with, let's take a look at a bonus play. What a crazy scene. So, first of all, let's recognize the score, 62-38, 2 minutes remaining in the fourth period. Our visitors, the blue team, is trailing. Let's also take a look across the way. You see these cheerleaders over here? Let's see. You see those cheerleaders and the way their feet are on the court? That's exactly the situation in this gymnasium for the benches. So the head coach is standing, but actually there's no way for them to actually stand off the court if they're standing in front of their bench personnel. Their bench personnel's feet are actually going to be touching the court in this situation. But in any event, the ball is passed. Our distracted coach, it hits him. Oh, I gotta get rid of that. Let's go here. But the ball hits the distracted coach, and their first reaction is to reach down to pick up the ball. The coach is standing on the court, but they don't contact the ball after it contacts them. And the official on the play rules this to be a legal play. Was the official correct? Yes or no? Oh, this gym. So the camera as well. The camera here, that's where the scorer is. The scorer and the shot clock operator and the clock operator here are in an elevated loft at this gymnasium, Bishop O'Dowd High School in Oakland. It's a very unique configuration. And it's a school that does not have options for expansion, etc. So, what do you have on this play? The ball contacts the coach standing on the court. Do we have a penalty by rule? I would be a... What do you have on this play? Jason says, tight. It is super tight. But the ball contacts a coach who's standing on the court. They're not standing out of bounds, right? Then the situation would be really easy. Do we have to assess a technical foul on the head coach, right? In this situation, the coaches have no option. I mean, obviously they could remain seated, but it's a treacherous sideline. But the energy in the building on this play was like that. Coach. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Mike, you have an out-of-bounds violation. Why is that? The ball contacted a person on the court. If it contacted the official here, would the ball be out of bounds? Hard to tell where that left foot is. But that's a fun play. That's a fun play. But we're going to move on, and we're going to look at another play scenario. This is a great demeanor and how to handle a play situation. Play. Let's take a look at that. This will be our final play. It's a little longer. Maybe I'll talk over it. All right, I'm going to go here. Right, so we have a foul on this play followed by double technicals. Let me know in the chat if the video sound is playing. I can hear it, but I don't think you can hear it. And that's good at this point. So center official has the foul, double whistle with the trail. League comes in, player technicals on two opponents who essentially face each other. So right here, what would be the correct adjudication on the play? Common foul followed by double technical fouls, right? If it was a bonus situation, bonus free throws would be awarded. If it's not a bonus situation, end line throw-in, right? So is this a kind of a scenario where the crew is potentially going to need to come together? Okay. Okay, let me do this. Let me turn it way down. I appreciate that feedback. My understanding of this configuration is not quite there. All right, so our crew decides they're going to adopt this stance, and they're going to sort this out. So what do we have? We have a common foul, and then we have double technical fouls. So I'm going to go report the common foul. Hey, we got the foul there. And then the other official is going to go report their technical fouls on two players. They go to the table, they have that intimate conversation. We do want to ensure that the table is aware that it goes on those two players, that team foul counts are accurately updated. And then we have one official go to one coach. And we're going to come back, and there's a delay in adjudication. If we just bounce back there. So our home team appears to be the Railroaders, and the scoreboard says the Mustangs now have 7 team fouls. And when we resume play, there will be 7 on the board. So if the board is accurate, right, what happens first? The foul, followed by double technicals. So if before the foul there were 5 team fouls on the Mustangs, the foul was the 6th foul, followed by the technical fouls, which would have been the 7th foul. Would we award free throws in that situation? No. No, we would not. Even though the board now says 7, no bonus free throws would be awarded for the original foul. I believe that's what it becomes the issue on this play. But our crew has made a decision. This is how we're going to adjudicate this play. And now the official's talking to the other coach, right? When we identify this separate communication situation, if this is a situation where we need to communicate what's going to happen next, we'd be better off bringing both coaches together, doing it as a crew, saying this is what has happened, this is the adjudication on the play, this is what's going to happen next. Double foul by rule, point of interruption. Our point of interruption on this play is a throw in on the end line, the spot nearest the foul. I appreciate that, Coach. Yes, I understand. No, we're not debating that at this point. We have this is adjudication. We're going to move forward from here. But our crew ends up, multiple trips to the table, to coaches, etc. We haven't put a bow on our adjudication of the play. And that's what we want to avoid in a situation like this. It's atypical. Something unusual has happened. It's layered. This happened, and then this happened. How do we move forward? They seem to be headed in the right direction, but they get distracted and are going back and forth. And we want to avoid that as a crew. We want to avoid this, chicken with the head cut off, running around as a crew. We want to make the adjudication on the play and move forward. But for whatever reason on this play, I think related to bonus free throws potentially, our white coach is not happy. Ultimately, ball is inbound, technical foul on the head coach. And look where the head coach is. I mean, there's no way we're not issuing a technical foul in this situation. Coach seems to be pointing at the board. That's why I suspect it's related to that. So in the end, we end up with a technical foul on the head coach. Could that have been avoided if we had done things a little differently? I think so. So when we look at our game video, and especially in atypical situations, how would we want to improve? How would we want to handle in a fashion that resolved all of the issues, right? We'd want to understand this, right? So, hey, point of interruption in this instance is going to be, it's not bonus free throws. No, coach, that was the 6th team foul, right? Maybe if we'd handled it a little different in this situation, we wouldn't end up with the technical foul and the energy that comes from it. So when we look at play situations like this, we can say, all right, as a crew, how do I want to handle this when it happens in my game? Because something like this will definitely happen in your game. Okay. Let's move. Yes, Zooch, the technical foul was part of the 7th foul was part of the double technical. Again, we're having to make assumptions here, but I think that's the issue. So we'd have no free throws. We're going point of interruption. The sound should be down now. I think I'm golden with that. Exactly right. Al's got it 100% correct. You should have everything figured out and how we're going to resume prior to breaking the huddle. Whew. Awesome. Okay. What are we looking at? Oh my goodness, 2 hours in. Hey, thanks for everybody joining today. I really appreciate that. Chat has been lit. I will resolve my video situations, and next week will be golden. Golden. I'm super excited about the changes. Sometimes there's growing pains, and I appreciate everybody bearing with me. I am going to go to my favorite screen, the countdown in the corner screen, where I bid everybody adieu. And I appreciate you joining us today for the live stream. The edited version is going to be fantastic, as always. And we'll see you next week for Basketball Rules Expert on Wednesday. And on Friday, we'll do it again with plays. Have a great weekend. Go Warriors. We'll see you in the